All right, so let's talk about auto layout. Now, we've already messed with auto layout earlier in the curriculum, but it'd be a great idea at this point to do a refresher because we're going to be using it a lot more. It becomes pretty important when we're dealing with responsive design. So for this component, or there's not a component yet, sorry. By the way, you can download this file here and you can follow along, which I suggest doing. We can see we have just 3 different objects. They're not a part of a group or a component. So what we want to do is we want to right click and we want to, oh, and by the way, if we were to drag these in, we can see the issue here. We don't want overlapping. So what we can do is right click, create a component, and then this gives us the option of adding an auto layout. Now, just adding or creating a component in and of itself, we still have the same issue. So what we can do is add auto layout, and now if we drag this in, oops, all of a sudden something strange is happening. It's not working, right? Well, if we go back here and I select and double click into the image, for instance, if we want this to be responsive and pull out as we adjust the width of the component, then remember we have resizing right here. So we can choose fill container. All right, so now if I move this in and out, it's going to fill it up. Additionally, with these elements, notice how it says resizing, it's fixed width. We want fill container and fill container as well. So now we can move these around and it works automatically. And notice it maintains the white space right here. So the white space, as we can see, it's entered in as 16. So it's going to be 16 points between these elements respectively. So if I bump this up, we just left click and drag, we can adjust it in that manner. And we can also see we have alignment and padding applied here. It's not actually applied because everything is at 0. If we were to center this, for instance, and we put like 10 right here, you can see it allows you to add margin and such right here all around your elements if need be. So we're just going to take that off. And so that's the great thing about auto layout. It solves those problems. It also allows you to double click and move things around to experiment with different layout options. Let's back up. And of course, this is working all the way in a vertical direction. So if we change this here to a horizontal direction, it's just going to space elements out to the right of each other. Of course, this does not look very good. But just to give ourselves a little bit more practice with this, we can come over here, we can duplicate it, Control D, and we can detach the instance right here. So now it's just an actual grouping here, even though it says it's a component. And we can right click and ungroup this. And let's create a different layout, a 2-column approach rather than this approach where we have 3 rows and 1 column. And there we go. So we'll say we're happy with this. Maybe we'll move this over just a bit. And we want to be able to take this, and we don't want that to happen. Notice how these are kind of falling into each other. So there's a few things that we can do here. So what we could do is we can take these 2 elements, right click, create a component, and we can add auto layout. And now we have to double click into each one of these and choose fill container. And now they will maintain their distance as such. And then we can also take this element here, these 2 elements, and we can right click and create a component. All right, here's the original off there, off the side. And so what we can now do is take these and add an auto layout. Notice how it has it automatically situated to the horizontal direction. So now if we move this up, what's happening? Same issue as before. What we can do is take this element, and for resizing, we can choose fill container. This we can also fill container. And now if we move these in and out, it's working pretty much as we want. However, what if we wanted the height of this for especially in this case where they're not matching up, to sort of match up with the height of this. So here, notice we have a fixed height. We can also change this to fill container. So depending on the height of this, this is how this will respond. So as you can see, very powerful. And what we're going to do in the next lesson is we're going to take these cards and make them all work across 3 different frames for desktop, tablet, and mobile, and also make them work with the grid system.